Pale Blue Dot by Carl Sagan. Picture this. Somewhere in the frozen darkness beyond Neptune, a tiny spacecraft no bigger than a compact car is screaming away from home at 40,000 miles per hour. This is Voyager 1, humanity's most distant messenger, launched on what was supposed to be a simple tour of the giant planets. It had already done its job beautifully, sending back jaw-dropping images of Jupiter's storms and Saturn's impossible rings. Now it was coasting into the endless black. Job done, case closed. But then, in February 1990, something unexpected happened. A command signal, crawling through nearly 4 billion miles of absolute nothing, finally reached the little spacecraft. The message was strange. Turn around. Point your camera not at some exotic new world, but back the way you came. Back toward the sun. Back home. Over the next few months, Voyager obediently snapped 60 pictures and beamed them back to Earth, one agonizing pixel at a time. And buried in one of those images, caught in a scattered shaft of sunlight, was a single point of pale light, a cosmic speck, easy to miss. That speck was us. That was Earth. The person who fought like hell to make that photograph happen was the astronomer Carl Sagan. He understood something most people didn't, that one tiny image would change everything. The book that grew from that moment, Pale Blue Dot, has sold millions of copies and become much more than a book about space. It's a mirror held up to humanity, a reality check, and a love letter to our future, all rolled into one. Sagan wasn't your typical scientist. Sure, he played a leading role in America's space program from day one. But what made him special was his gift for storytelling. He could take the most brain-melting concepts in physics and astronomy and make them feel personal, even emotional. He believed science wasn't just for the experts in lab coats. It belonged to everyone, and he spent his life proving it. Today, we're diving into the heart of his masterpiece, Pale Blue Dot. This isn't just a book summary. It's an invitation to see ourselves and our world from a perspective that most humans never get. By the time we're done, you'll understand why that one photograph, that impossibly small pale blue dot, might just hold the key to our survival and our future as a species. To really get what Pale Blue Dot is about, we need to rewind thousands of years, back to when our ancestors would lie on their backs under star-filled skies. Imagine living back then. No light pollution drowning out the stars, no distractions. The night sky was your entertainment, your calendar, and your connection to the divine. Every night, you'd watch the same comforting show, stars rising in the east, setting in the west, moving together like a perfectly synchronized dance. But then you'd notice something weird. 5 lights that didn't play by the rules. They wandered. Over weeks and months, they'd drift slowly against the background stars, sometimes even doing bizarre loops. The ancient Greeks called them planetes, the wanderers. We know them as planets. To our ancestors, this was deeply personal. The sky existed for us. The sun was our personal heater and light bulb. The moon was our nightlight. And those wandering planets? They were gods, powerful beings controlling our destinies. Jupiter, king of the gods, Mars, the god of war, Venus, goddess of love. And naturally, at the center of this cosmic theater was us, Earth. Everything revolved around our world. This geocentric model wasn't born from arrogance, but from common sense. I mean, look outside. The sun obviously goes around the Earth, right? The stars wheel overhead. It felt right. It felt comfortable. And it confirmed our secret hope, that we were special, that the entire universe was basically built with us in mind. For thousands of years, this was gospel truth, defended by kings, popes, and scholars. The universe was our personal stage. But here's where things get interesting. Sagan explains that the history of science has been a series of what he calls the great demotions, a sequence of ego-crushing discoveries that have, one by one, kicked us off our cosmic pedestal. The first demotion was the most painful. In the 1500s, a Polish astronomer named Nicholas Copernicus had a radical thought. What if Earth wasn't the center? What if the Sun was? What if we were just another wandering planet, no different from Mars or Venus? This was dangerous thinking. It didn't just challenge astronomy. It challenged our entire self-image. If Earth was just another planet, what did that make us? The idea was so unsettling that for decades, people treated it as just a math trick, a convenient fiction for calculations, but not actual reality. Then Galileo showed up. When he pointed his telescope at the sky, he didn't just see more stars. He saw proof: moons orbiting Jupiter, proving that not everything circled Earth. Venus going through phases like our moon, which only made sense if it orbited the Sun. The universe, Galileo demonstrated, didn't care about our feelings. It followed its own rules. For daring to speak this truth, Galileo was threatened with torture by the Church and spent the rest of his life under house arrest. But the cat was out of the bag. Truth, once discovered, is stubborn like that. Over the following centuries, the evidence piled up like snow in a blizzard. We measured the aberration of starlight caused by Earth's motion. We finally measured stellar parallax, proving stars were unimaginably distant. Earth was officially demoted. We were not the center of the universe. But maybe, some thought, we could salvage a bit of pride. Maybe Earth wasn't the center, but surely our Sun was. Our home star must be the center of everything. Nope, wrong again. By the 19th and 20th centuries, astronomers discovered that our Sun is just one lonely star among hundreds of billions in a vast galaxy called the Milky Way. And we don't even live downtown. We're out in the cosmic suburbs, in a boring spiral arm, 30,000 light-years from the galactic center. Another demotion, another blow to the ego. Well, okay, but maybe our galaxy is special. Maybe the Milky Way is the entire universe. Strike 3. Through increasingly powerful telescopes, we spotted faint, fuzzy patches of light that turned out to be other galaxies. Island universes, each packed with hundreds of billions of stars. Today we know there are hundreds of billions of galaxies. For every single star in the Milky Way, there's an entire galaxy out there somewhere. Our galaxy, it turns out, is spectacularly average. Not unusually big, not unusually bright, not special in any meaningful way. Each of these discoveries was a punch to humanity's collective ego. Each one pushed us further from the center, made us smaller, and seemingly less important. But here's the twist, and this is central to Pale Blue Dot. This journey from self-importance to cosmic humility isn't a tragedy. It's a liberation. It frees us to see the universe as it actually is, not as we wish it to be. Sagan connects this intellectual journey to something deeper in our nature. He reminds us that for 99.9% of human history, we were nomads. We were hunters and gatherers, following herds, moving with the seasons. We were bounded only by the earth, the ocean, and the sky. The frontier was everywhere. The open road was home. This deep, ancient urge to explore, to see what's over the next hill, is woven into our DNA. It's what drove our ancestors out of Africa to populate every corner of this planet. It's what sent Polynesian navigators across thousands of miles of open ocean in canoes. It's what pushed European explorers across the Atlantic. And now, Sagan argues, that same restless impulse is calling us to a new ocean, the ocean of space. Those wandering lights our ancestors watched with wonder? They're not just gods anymore. They're worlds. They're destinations. This is where the book shifts gears, from the story of our changing perspective to the story of our first baby steps into this new frontier. It's the story of Voyager. Launched in 1977, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 were, as Sagan beautifully puts it, the ships that opened the solar system for the human species. They were our robotic scouts, our eyes and ears sent to explore the great unknown. They were only designed to last until Saturn, but thanks to brilliant engineering, their mission kept going, becoming the greatest journey of exploration in human history. First stop, Jupiter. We'd been staring at Jupiter through telescopes for centuries, seeing a striped ball with a mysterious great red spot. But Voyager showed us the real deal, a world of breathtaking violence and beauty. That great red spot, a storm so massive that 3 Earths could fit inside it. The atmosphere was a turbulent sea of colorful clouds, crackling with lightning bolts bigger than anything on Earth. And Jupiter's moons weren't just dots of light anymore, they were unique worlds. On Io, Voyager discovered active volcanoes erupting not molten rock, but sulfur, painting the surface in garish yellows, oranges, and blacks. It was the most volcanically active body in the entire solar system. On Europa, we saw a smooth, icy surface covered in dark cracks, hinting at a vast ocean of liquid water hiding beneath the ice. An ocean that might, just might, contain life. After Jupiter, Voyager used the giant planet's gravity like a slingshot, hurtling onward to Saturn. Here, the main attraction was the rings. What looked like a few simple bands from Earth were revealed as thousands upon thousands of intricate ringlets, made of countless ice particles, each following its own perfect orbit. The rings were a spectacular demonstration of gravity's grace, a cosmic ballet on an unimaginable scale. Saturn's giant moon Titan presented a tantalizing puzzle. Larger than the planet Mercury, it was shrouded in a thick orange haze. Its atmosphere was rich in nitrogen and methane, with complex organic molecules, the building blocks of life, literally raining from the sky. Sagan describes Titan as a kind of frozen time capsule, a snapshot of what Earth might have looked like billions of years ago, before life emerged. The Voyager mission was only guaranteed to work until Saturn, but the engineers at NASA were brilliant problem solvers. As Sagan charmingly puts it, they got smarter faster than the spacecraft got stupid. So Voyager 2 was sent on a trajectory toward worlds no human-made object had ever visited. In 1986 it reached Uranus, a strange aquamarine world spinning on its side, as if it had been knocked over by some ancient cosmic collision. Voyager discovered new rings, dark as coal, and a collection of bizarre moons. The most striking was Miranda, a tiny moon whose surface looked like it had been smashed to pieces and then carelessly reassembled, a chaotic jumble of cliffs, canyons, and mismatched terrain. Then, in 1989, Voyager 2 arrived at the last giant planet, Neptune. Out here, the sun is just a bright star, and the cold is unimaginable. Scientists expected a quiet, boring world. Instead, Voyager showed us a vibrant blue planet, whipped by winds faster than the speed of sound, marked by a great dark spot, another giant storm raging in the frigid darkness. Neptune's largest moon, Triton, was equally surprising. Despite being one of the coldest places in the solar system, Voyager discovered geysers of nitrogen gas erupting from its frozen surface, blown sideways by the wispy atmosphere. The surface was a bizarre landscape of frozen nitrogen snow, tinted pink and brown by radiation. The Voyager missions were a triumph. They explored 4 planets, nearly 60 moons, and thousands of rings. They taught us more about the outer solar system in a decade than we'd learned in all of human history before. They proved that our planetary neighborhood is packed with a stunning diversity of worlds, each with its own story. And this brings us back to that photograph. As Voyager 1 was leaving the solar system, Carl Sagan and his team had an idea. It was sentimental, not strictly scientific. They wanted to turn Voyager's cameras around one last time and take a picture of Earth from the edge of the solar system. Many at NASA were against it. Aiming the camera near the sun could damage it. Earth would be too small to show any detail, so what was the point? But Sagan persisted. He understood the power of perspective. He knew that seeing our world from that distance might fundamentally change us. Finally, they agreed. From nearly 4 billion miles away, Earth appeared as a tiny point of pale light, a single pixel suspended in a sunbeam. Sagan called it the pale blue dot. And here, the book reaches its emotional core. Sagan asks us to look again at that dot. That's here, he writes. That's home. That's us. On that tiny speck, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you've ever heard of, every human being who ever lived, lived out their lives. Every joy and heartbreak, every king and beggar, every saint and sinner, every creator and destroyer of civilizations lived there, on a speck of dust floating in a sunbeam. From this vantage point, our planet is a lonely speck in the vast cosmic darkness. Our posturing, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we hold some privileged position in the universe, all challenged by this point of pale light. Think about the rivers of blood spilled by generals and emperors, so they could become, for a brief moment, masters of a fraction of that dot. Think about the endless cruelties committed by inhabitants of one corner of this pixel against the inhabitants of some other corner. There's perhaps no better demonstration of the absurdity of human arrogance than this distant image of our tiny world. This perspective, Sagan argues, is the ultimate gift of space exploration. It's a lesson in humility. It underscores our responsibility to treat each other more kindly and to preserve and cherish this pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. But the journey doesn't end with this realization. In fact, it's just beginning. The second half of Pale Blue Dot is about our future. Now that we understand our true place in the cosmos, what do we do next? One obvious question: are we alone? If our solar system is ordinary, if planets are common, could there be other pale blue dots out there? Sagan takes us through a fascinating experiment. In 1990, the Galileo spacecraft, on its way to Jupiter, flew past Earth. He and his team decided to use it as a test. If an alien spacecraft flew by Earth, could it detect life? They turned Galileo's instruments on our own planet. What did they find? An atmosphere rich in oxygen, a gas so reactive it shouldn't exist unless something was constantly replenishing it. Methane, which is quickly destroyed by oxygen, meaning something was constantly producing it. A strange pigment on the continents that absorbed red light, chlorophyll, and modulated radio signals that couldn't possibly be natural. The conclusion was undeniable. Earth is absolutely teeming with life. An alien explorer could figure that out without even landing. This experiment was a calibration, giving us confidence that if we look at other worlds and find none of these signs, that negative result actually means something. So far, we've found no such signs anywhere else. We've listened for cosmic radio signals through projects like SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. We've picked up some puzzling signals, but nothing that repeats, nothing we can confirm. The search continues, but for now, the silence is profound. Our world, Sagan concludes, is precious. Life may be extraordinarily rare. Throughout our travels in the solar system, we've found wonders, but we've also found desolation. Out there, so far, there are no better places. This leads to the final and most daring part of Sagan's vision. If this is our only home, what are our long-term prospects? He argues that we face two kinds of dangers. The first comes from within. Our technology has given us the power to explore the stars, but also the power to destroy ourselves. Nuclear war, climate change, environmental destruction, we've become a danger to our own planet. The cosmic perspective, he hopes, can help us overcome our petty tribal conflicts and work together to protect our world. But there's another danger, one from outside. The universe isn't peaceful. It's a violent place. The solar system is full of asteroids and comets, leftover debris from when the planets formed. And every now and then, their orbits cross ours. The impact of a large asteroid or comet, like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, isn't a matter of if, but when. The waiting time might be long, hundreds of thousands of years for a civilization-ending event, but on the timescale of a species, it's inevitable. This, Sagan argues, is the ultimate reason for becoming a spacefaring species. It's not just about romance or adventure, though those matter. It's about survival. As long as we're confined to a single planet, we're vulnerable. One catastrophe, whether we cause it or the cosmos throws it at us, could wipe out our entire species. But if we establish self-sustaining communities on other worlds, the Moon, Mars, asteroids, then humanity is protected. the light of consciousness, once kindled, wouldn't be so easily extinguished. This is the profound missing argument for human presence in space. It's an insurance policy for the species. Sagan envisions a future where we take our first real steps toward this goal. He advocates for a joint international mission to Mars. Not a race like Apollo, which he acknowledges gave us incredible perspective but was also a product of Cold War rivalry. This new venture should be cooperative, a project for all humanity. The same technology that powers weapons of mass destruction, he points out, can send us to another planet. It's a choice of mythic significance, to embrace the planet named for the god of war, not for destruction, but for a new beginning. From there, he paints a picture of our long-term future, a future that sounds like science fiction, but which he argues is a natural continuation of our nomadic heritage. He discusses terraforming Mars, engineering its environment to make it more Earth-like, thickening its atmosphere, warming its surface until liquid water flows again. He imagines our descendants living in domed cities, and eventually, perhaps, walking under a blue Martian sky. From there, we might move to the asteroid belt, hollowing out small worlds and turning them into habitats, into slow-moving starships for migration to the outer solar system. And then, in the truly distant future, we might venture to the stars. The vast distances act as a kind of quarantine, he suggests. Only civilizations mature enough to survive their technological adolescence and cooperate on a grand scale will ever make the journey. This is the ultimate destiny of the wanderers, to tiptoe through the Milky Way, carrying the legacy of our small, fragile world with us. For all our failings, Sagan concludes, we humans are capable of greatness. Our evolutionary story is marked by adaptability and resilience. We've gone from microbes to apes to beings who can puzzle out the laws of nature and venture into the sky. The journey will be long and difficult, but the vision of Pale Blue Dot is one of profound hope. It's a call to wake up to our circumstances, to see the beauty and fragility of our world, and to embrace our future as citizens of the cosmos. We are, he reminds us, children of the stars, and it's time to go home. As we wrap up our journey through Pale Blue Dot, it's worth pausing to consider why this book, written decades ago, feels even more relevant today. In a world that often feels fractured, anxious, and overwhelmed, Carl Sagan's voice cuts through the noise. It's a voice of reason, wonder, and unshakable faith in human potential. The most powerful lesson for me is the transformative power of perspective. We get caught up in our daily dramas, our jobs, our anxieties, our arguments. Sagan gently takes us by the hand, leads us billions of miles away, and shows us our world as it truly is, a single, fragile, beautiful dot. From that distance, our divisions look absurd, our conflicts seem pointless, the borders we draw on maps become invisible. All we have is each other and this one precious home. This perspective doesn't diminish us. It unites us. It gives us a common identity as Earthlings and a common purpose, to protect our home and each other. This isn't just touchy-feely sentiment. Sagan demonstrates how this cosmic perspective is intensely practical. Exploring other worlds has given us critical tools to understand and protect our own. Venus's runaway greenhouse effect is a terrifying cautionary tale about climate change. Mars's ozoneless, radiation-blasted surface warns us about damaging our atmospheric shield. Studying other worlds isn't escapism. It's essential to solving our problems here. But the book's deepest message is about our future. Sagan presents two paths. One is to remain earthbound, vulnerable to dangers both self-inflicted and cosmic. The other is to embrace our ancient wandering spirit and become a multi-planet species. This isn't a call for conquest, it's a call for survival. It's a long-term vision requiring generations of cooperation, wisdom, and courage. But it's a hopeful vision. It gives us a grand project worthy of our species, suggesting that our best days aren't behind us but ahead of us, out there among the stars. So how can we apply the wisdom of Pale Blue Dot in our own lives, starting today? First, and simplest, look up. On the next clear night, go outside and spend a few minutes looking at the stars. Remember that each one is a sun, perhaps with its own family of worlds. Feel the scale of it all. Let it give you that cosmic perspective. It's a powerful way to reset your priorities and remember what truly matters. Second, stay curious. Sagan's life was a testament to the power of asking questions. Follow the latest discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope. Track the missions exploring Mars and beyond. Science isn't some dry subject for classrooms. It's the story of our species' greatest adventure. By staying curious, you become part of that adventure. And finally, practice kindness. This is the core ethical lesson of the pale blue dot. If we're all sharing this tiny world, then compassion and cooperation aren't just nice virtues, they're survival skills. The next time you're in conflict, try to picture that dot. Remember that we're all on the same team. That's our exploration of Pale Blue Dot by Carl Sagan. We've touched on the major themes, but I'll be honest with you. A summary is just a map. The real treasure is in the journey itself. The true magic of this book is in Sagan's beautiful prose. In those quiet moments when one of his insights connects with something deep inside you. This summary is meant to give you a taste. If anything we've talked about today has sparked your curiosity or touched your heart, grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning facts. It's an experience that can genuinely change how you see yourself, your world, and your future. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found the summary valuable and want to keep exploring the world's most impactful books, please hit that subscribe button. It tells us we're on the right track and ensures you won't miss our next journey into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and keep wandering together.